Hey everybody, it's Jeff once again with our C-Werx program, our Community-Werx program, and I'm here with my friend Rabbi Marie Betcher, who is one of the most wonderful people I know, and is the police chaplain for both Austin as well as Cedar Park, and just involved in a ton of things in the community. And so we really wanted to interview her, get her take on what's going on in the nonprofit world, in the community world, and some of her things that she's working on currently. So thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about some of the things you're involved in the community.
Well, of course, I would first say about being a Cedar Park Police chaplain, thanks to Chief Mannix, to be involved here with C-Werx, with your charitable works that this wonderful T-Werx started. It's a blessing because we help this community, which also reaches out. But coming up, we have Loving Our First Responders.
Yes, which is this is what, number 3?
This is the third
year.
And it'll be at the main police station, and then at the administrative headquarters for the fire department.
Okay.
And it's just several hours of hand and stone massage. Thank you, Terry Evans. Her masseuses come and give massages to the officers and the firefighters and the staff. Food is going to be provided, which we're still working on. Michelle is still working on. Okay. So that's a lovely day. It's a way to give back to our first responders. We have coming up after that, Handbags for Hope with the Texas Advocacy Project. That was so successful last year. I didn't have to schlep all those bags down.
I schlepped enough for the two of us.
And, it was a full truckload, and that was collected. Right now, I think we have 19 locations.
Yes. We have more than we had last year.
Yeah, which is just an amazing thing. We twice a year we feed over at the Ronald McDonald House, and Brian. Bubba, as we call him.
Henson, yeah.
Brian Henson, who's wonderful. He smokes all the meats for us, and any volunteers from anywhere from 4 to 7 of us are there, feeding the people at the Ronald McDonald House. That's a really wonderful and blessed thing to be able to do for them. And just different things that we were involved with Reveal Resource. And helping them with Amplify Austin this year. Gone over there several times to volunteer. C-Werx has. So C-Werx is a wonderful way within our community to give back. I always say, not only as a rabbi, an ordained cantor in this part of the world, but I always think, wouldn't it be a blessing if everyone volunteered 1 hour a week?
Yes.
Yes, I know. And so what you do here is such a blessing for your community.
Well, and it was what I always felt when we were talking about this program at the very beginning. It was, a single person business, because we are largely a community of 1 and 2 person businesses, and a single person business, they might be able to write a check, but they can't necessarily have an impact.
Yes.
And if we can get a whole bunch of them together,
Yes.
we can have an impact on the community.
And
that's what's proven.
Well, and what you've done with C-Werx and everybody coming on board, it is just amazing. And I really don't see, there are a lot of wonderful organizations out here. And the churches, my small temple, we're all working within the community to help one another. I'm also on the board for, just had a meeting today, for Swan Songs.
Okay.
And that's providing musical wishes for the dying. Christine Albert, musician and composer, Grammy Awards board member. She is the founder and CEO of that. That's it's a nonprofit. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We just had a meeting today with Grief and Healing. Right now the name escapes me. Another wonderful organization to partner with them. But that and being a police chaplain, because we touch so many different areas, whether it's here in Cedar Park or in Austin, meeting with the people.
Yeah, and being there for them when they're having their worst day. Hopefully you're there to.
Yeah, and being able to connect them with something like you're doing or other community resources that we have. Amplify Austin is coming up, and I
Just
hope
awesome
everybody
every
here
year.
pick your charitable, your 501c3. If you don't know about Amplify Austin, please go to the web and research.
Yep.
But everybody I just mentioned is in Amplify
Yeah,
Austin.
it's the website is liveheregivehere.com.
Yes.
It's amazing thing, and it is completely Austin.
Yes.
It was created here. It's all about the nonprofit community here, and it's just 2 days to focus on the nonprofit community. Pick the ones that mean the most to you, and donate, get involved, be involved in events, and just really think about the nonprofit community on those days.
And what's so wonderful about you and Crystal, with what you've done here, you expect a church, a synagogue, a mosque to reach out to the community and be charitable. Business, not like you're doing. I mean, you don't expect every business to do it, and they don't do it. I don't want to start naming them because then I'll miss someone. We have wonderful, thank God, businesses in our community, but what you've done, it's what we do spiritually. It's like I just told you, I'm a speaker at South by Southwest.
Which is awesome.
And the topic is spirituality and philanthropy. Philanthropy, what you're doing here, what we all hopefully and we pray that we will do for one another, because you never know when you're going to need those resources.
That's exactly
You
right.
know?
Well, and I think, and I've had this conversation with several folks on the C-Werx board. The other piece of it, I mean, it's from a business perspective, the millennial generation, like it or not, has really changed the business world for the better. No matter what you think about them, they have a very big desire that if I'm going to work with a company, or if I'm going to do business with a company, I want to know they've got a heart.
Yes.
That they care about their community. I want to know that the money that I'm paying them is going to some positive cause.
Yes.
And they're getting a higher amount of money now to be an economic part of the, or a bigger part of the economy. And I personally, and I've said this several times, if you don't get a heart in your business in the next 10 years, you're not going to be in business anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And that's part of why we wanted to create this. And I mean, I thank you for being involved from literally day one. When we had our first event for Leaf, when we had our grand opening and had 250 people here bringing books.
Yeah.
I mean, that was our community that, and I looked at last year with Handbags for Hope. I mean, a full 26-foot truck full of purses.
I can start naming them. You had Texas Humane Heroes. We had things. Yep. It's amazing how many times, even not just with C-Werx, you've had all these other things that you do constantly here.
Yeah, and but the thing is, we want to be able to recognize a lot of these nonprofits didn't really have a voice for themselves. They tried and they just couldn't get their voice out there as much. And whatever it means, I mean, if it means that, okay, we do a video and we talk about it, at least we're getting the word out that there's these wonderful resource organizations. I mean, Reveal Resource is an amazing organization here in town that people come from all over.
Well, and that's
not just our community.
And that is the misconception. When I was there, I was going around speaking to all the people, and I would ask them where they lived. And yes, they were not just from this community. Many of them were from East Austin, South Austin, and they would come here once a week to get all of their food. So, if people would realize in our community that when you donate over the Reveal resource, it's, I remember 800, 1,000 people a week they feed. So it's an amazing.
Well, and I think the cool part about them too is, you're not required to pray.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a religious thing, but if you want it, they're willing to, there are people there that want to sit down and pray with you.
Yes.
And just hopefully ask God's approval to, or ask for God's help when they need it, and it works well.
Yeah, it's Linda Starnes over there and Mark Iot.
Mark Iot.
Just they're just wonderful people. You can Google it and find Reveal Resource. That's just one of the best.
Yeah, they're here in Cedar Park and part of the church community up there on the hill right by the YMCA. So
Yeah.
just wonderful.
And you did, oh my gosh, I start thinking, Cedar Park Police Department, Blue Santa.
Oh,
I can
yes.
start naming all of these things
Yep.
that we might not have done at C-Werx, although we did participate in all of those, but there are many other ones that
Just
you're
get the
doing
word out about it.
constantly.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the best interviews.
Yes,
That
yes, with
was
Jesse,
one of the neatest
Sergeant
interviews
Campbell.
with Sergeant Campbell.
He's wonderful.
That was probably one of the funniest things because I was talking to the chief after that, and
Yeah.
I told Jesse's story that he told me, and he said, I didn't even know that about him, that he started when he was a kid, and that's what actually made him want to become a police officer.
Yeah,
So there's these great stories of these
Yeah.
organizations, and I always find getting the people involved who are the passionate ones about that organization, you really see them be so excited. Linda's a great example.
Oh, I love Linda.
She was petrified to do an interview, and she was like a star on here when you got her talking about what she loves and why she does it.
And you know what, the other beautiful thing about living out here in Cedar Park, and I love Austin, and I'm from two other big cities,
Sure.
right? But Cedar Park, we know each other. We know each other from the chamber. All of these people, it's not so big
Yep.
that we know most
Still feels like a
of-
small town, even though we've
Yeah.
gotten a lot bigger. We're
Yeah,
still a small
yeah.
town.
And the businesses, we all, know each
So
other.
the community organizations that you work with, what are some of the challenges that you see that they're facing?
Well, I'm on the board of Swan Songs. I'm on the board now of IACT, the Interfaith Action of Central Texas. And we're now doing things out here in Cedar Park area.
Okay.
I came out here in 2004. And for many years, up until like the last year, IACT never really came out here, and now we are.
Yeah.
So we're putting a lot of different faith communities together to dialogue together. IACT is a wonderful 501c3. Swan Songs, again, is a wonderful, if you have a family member that's ill or dying, we can get you the kind of music, even sometimes the exact performer they want
Wow.
to come in, and it's free for the family. We pay the performers. Those two are they're just really wonderful. I'm on the board of Chaplain USA, the Police Chaplain Project. It's a
Okay.
national organization to get the word out about what police chaplains do.
Okay.
That's another wonderful thing. They have chaplainusa.org.
Okay.
You can see videos. But the toughest thing I think is that fundraising,
Of course.
as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So fundraising, and we pick our battles. So too many events, you're not going to, so usually 1 or 2 events a year. And then really targeting your donors. Like, I love to do a lot of things with Courtney Lee. There's Paws of Austin. Texas Humane Heroes is not the same part, but I just did the breaking the ground for the Williamson County Animal Shelter. And they're expanding, $10 million worth of expansion. But again, so it's like, okay, some people like the aged, elderly, some people like animals, some people are really into their faith tradition. And so
Good thing is there's plenty of work
Yeah.
for everybody.
but that's it. So, that is the hardest thing for any of the groups, or the fundraising.
Yeah, it's the
And I think
fundraising part of
everybody
it,
knows that.
but I would also say, and having been involved in the boards of several different nonprofits, if you can't give, then give of your time. You
Yes,
know, I mean, I always
exactly.
heard the best way of looking at it: give 10% of your money or give 10% of your
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
Part of the reason C-Werx exists was to show people and businesses that it doesn't have to be about writing a check.
Yes.
We made that mistake at the beginning of being focused on collecting stuff. Let's collect stuff, let's collect books, let's collect this, and I think Texas Advocacy Project is my one rule breaker this year of we're not going to just collect stuff. That's one that really has a very big reason why we're collecting
Yeah.
the stuff.
And
in
if you don't know what that is,
Mhm.
once a year, all these purses, new or very gently used, are collected, thousands upon thousands, and they're refurbished or they're new, And inside is a little label with a rescue number in case the woman. It's for abused women who have had to leave their home. These are given to women in shelters who have had to leave their spouse, and they have children with them. So around Mother's Day, the children get to pick one of these bags, one of these beautiful, and they're beautiful bags, to give to their mother, and the mother can keep it. And if she ever finds herself in a bad situation, again, the number for rescue is in that bag, and it's just a wonderful way to give back. And they go to all of the rescue, all of the abused women abuse shelters in Texas.
Yeah, which is really nice that
Yes.
it was Central Texas that really
Yes.
serves that whole community. And it's amazing how Candace Lambert started that, and
Yes.
her first year she was, okay, if we can just collect 500, and I think last year with our donation or our part of it, they collected like 7,500
Yes.
purses last year, which was
I don't
insane.
even know. Rose
Yeah.
Bellina, who's head of the Texas Advocacy Project, she would know how many they collected
Yeah,
yesterday.
it was
last year.
crazy. Yeah, all I remembered was shoving them into conference rooms and hallways and everything, anywhere
Yeah.
where we could find a flat space to put them into.
I would collect them. There were different people collecting at the different locations, and actually Sergeant Campbell one time, Chief Mannix one time, because there were boxes, that tall, and I was dragging them outside full of bags. It was amazing, and they filled up in a few days.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, well, maybe we cleaned a lot of closets out
Yes.
last year, but I'm guessing there'll probably be more this year
Yes.
again. So, just exciting projects like that. Anything new that you're involved in right now that's interesting and that's in your heart?
Well, I have several big events coming up.
Okay.
One, it's Swan Songs, is doing a remember and reflect.
Okay.
So for people who have passed, we do, it's going to be really big this year, with different hope and grief centers, a beautiful service, an interfaith, where people come together, and we have a slideshow of the people who have passed. It's part music, it's part poetry. That's going to be downtown Austin.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to that. We just had a big planning meeting today. But that's all I can think of. I have
Yeah.
a bunch coming up.
All the
but,
things that you do, yes.
Yeah. And then just trying to take care of, I love being a police chaplain. I love my congregation. They're wonderful. But I really love especially the other work I do as a chaplain, because that really is interfaith. And it doesn't matter, like as a police chaplain in Cedar Park, we do death notices. So it doesn't matter whatever faith tradition you are. You have to be able to pray with the person, stay with the person. So those kinds of things are near and dear to my heart.
That's wonderful.
You know?
Well, thank you so much
You're welcome.
for doing everything you do. Thank you for
Oh.
being part of C-Werx from the very beginning.
It's my pleasure. It's an honor and it's a joy.
So folks, I just can't tell you how much I love this lady. Just phenomenal resource for us. One of my favorite people on the planet. So thank you very much. You guys, once again, right down below here is our subscription button. Make sure that you subscribe to this, because we are sending a ton of these things out onto the internet every day, or at least once a week. You'll see several of these coming out. We usually do 2 or 3 of them on Fridays, and leak them out throughout the week. So you won't know unless you subscribe to the channel. We will have lots of other cool folks from our C-Werx community, as well as other of the nonprofits that we work with and support in the community. And if you have any questions, or if you want to figure out how to get involved, go to our website, T-Werx.com. Give a call up here to Michelle at T-Werx, and Michelle can help connect you with whoever. If you're thinking that you want to start getting involved, or if you're a business owner and you want to get involved, and you own a small business, guess what? You don't have to be a member of T-Werx to be part of it. Come on up here, get involved, and join us in some of these events, because it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
All right. Have a great day, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.